Applying noise reduction in Audacity is a really simple thing to do, but it's also destructive to your waveform. I'm going to show you how I do it right now. So since the noise reduction tool that comes with Audacity is destructive to the waveform itself, that is, it embeds itself into the waveform, what I always do anytime I'm doing destructive editing within Audacity, which is becoming less and less now that we have real-time stackable effects, but it's still there. And this is the stuff that I cut my teeth on with Audacity. I did this kind of stuff for years, and I still do it. The noise reduction tool in Audacity is a really powerful tool, and I'm going to show you how I use it in this video. Let's take a look at this screen that I have. I have a short piece of audio that I recorded a few minutes ago. I'm in an untreated room right now. This is a temporary location that I'm in, and I recorded this just using the internal mic on my MacBook Pro. So you can see here at the beginning, there's a little bit of noise down in there. Well, we're going to get rid of that. And the way that I get rid of that is, since I'm doing destructive editing, first of all, I select the entire track, and then I duplicate it. Now to duplicate it, I'm going to press Command D, which duplicates the track. If you're in Windows, it's going to be Control D, but you have to have the track or the portion of the track selected that you're going to duplicate. And now I don't want to do anything to that top track. The reason I duplicated it is because I want the original track left there in case I mess something up here in what I'm about to do. So what I'm going to do is minimize that top track, and then I'm going to solo the bottom track. And let's widen it out here so we can get a little bit better idea of what we're doing. And now let's put some noise reduction on it. Noise reduction is a two-step process. The first step is to tell Audacity what I consider noise. Which part of this track is noise. And here's some good advice. Never do noise reduction on an area of the track where there's vocal going on or where there's music going on. You always want to find a silent spot in the track. This is why I like to leave a couple of seconds of just silent, room tone, room noise, whatever you want to call it, either at the beginning or at the end of my track, which is what I did here. I've got almost 4 seconds of silence. I don't need that much, but it's good to have it in case some weird anomaly is going on in the background, and it's better to have too much to pick from than not enough. So the first thing we need to do is just select through a little piece of this. Just doesn't have to be much, maybe a second or so. It can even be a little less than a second, and Audacity will be happy with that. But what I want to do right now is I want to listen to this, and I want us to get an idea for how much noise is in it. And in order to do that, we're going to loop it. Now to loop it, I can come up here and press the loop button, which will put a loop in that area that I have selected, and just continue to play through it over and over again until I tell it to stop. But instead of doing that, I'm going to use the keyboard shortcut L. So I'm pressing L, and you'll see that when I press L, it depresses that loop button, and it puts what looks like little bookends at either end of my looped section or my selected section. Now if I push the space bar, it will just continue to play through that over and over again. And so let's do that, and while we're doing it, I'll try and fit enough of the screen in here to where we can see the speaker meter toolbar as well, and we can get an idea for how noisy that little spot is just because we want to know. So I'm going to press the space bar, and let's listen through this a few times and keep an eye on that meter toolbar. Now it looks like for the meter toolbar that we're right at somewhere probably around a -39, -40, somewhere in there. And as far as the peaking out on that noise, that's pretty noisy. Again, I'm in an untreated room. That was my internal mic, and it's good that we have a little bit of noise because that'll help us clear it up. Now, while we've got that selected, let's come up to the effect drop-down window. And again, a couple of videos ago, I talked about this grouping here, and I've got my window grouped now so that it's a little bit more manageable. You can go back a couple of videos ago and look at what I talked about there as far as grouping this. But let's come down to noise removal and repair, and let's click on our noise reduction tool and get that effect up here. And again, you want to have a little bit of your waveform selected there where it's the quietest part of the waveform or a quiet part of the waveform. And I set these numbers up ahead of time. The reason will be obvious here in just a moment. You don't have to come back to this window again. A lot of people think that once you get the noise profile, you have to select the track and then come back up to the effect drop-down window and open this window up again. But that's not the case, and I'm going to show you that in just a minute. So I like to set these numbers ahead of time because I'm not going to come back and open this window again. Now we were about a -40 or so. So let's change this value right here. Let's drop that down to, say, 30 dB. This is telling Audacity that the noise that I'm going to grab right now when I click on Get Noise Profile, that I want it reduced by 30 dB. So that'll get us down, below 70 dB or somewhere down in there. You could go silence as well, but if you want to keep a little bit of room tone in it, you don't have to go completely silent with it. Now I've got my sensitivity and frequency smoothing bands set at 6 and 3. I don't remember what the defaults are, but these values work for me. I don't remember if I changed them or not at some point in the past, or if these are the default values. And again, we're going to reduce noise. So at this point, I'm going to click Get Noise Profile. And when I click on Get Noise Profile, nothing happens. It looks like it just kind of sat there and you're kind of scratching your head going, that was uneventful. And it was uneventful. Now the next thing that I'm going to do, first of all, is I'm going to select the entire track. And this is the point where I said you don't have to come back up to the Effect drop-down menu and click Noise Profile again and then click OK. You can do that if you want, but you don't have to. Right now, I can just repeat that last command. Let me show you what I mean. If we come to the Effect drop-down menu, you can see there that it says Repeat Noise Reduction. And then it has a shortcut key of, for me on a Mac, Command R. If you're on Windows, it's going to be Control R. So I can either click that, or I can just do the keyboard shortcut Command R, which is what I'm going to do right now. And when I do that, it's going to apply noise reduction onto my track based on the profile that I told it to grab. So let's do Control R right now. And you can see that it cleaned it up nicely. Now, if I come back to my area right here that I have set to loop and I loop through it, let's keep an eye on the meter toolbar. And just like we suspected, it got it down to around a -70 or a -71. So we haven't inserted complete silence on it, but we did get rid of a lot of the noise. And at the same time, we duplicated the track first, and so the original track is untouched. Because remember, this is destructive editing. If I were to save this right now and then close it out, and then an hour from now or tomorrow or next year, I come back in and I think, okay, I want to undo that noise reduction, you can't do that. I can undo it right now just by hitting the undo button. But once I've saved it and closed it out, it's adios. I can't get it back. So that's a look at how I apply noise reduction using Audacity. I hope that helped you. I hope you found it beneficial. And until next time, you all take care.